What's up, guys? Brad here, and I am here with Adam from KEF. How you doing, man?
I'm great this morning. How are you?
I'm doing great, doing great. We're here bright and early.
Yes.
I have been prowling around the event for basically some gaming setups, and everybody I've talked to says you have to come check this out. And oh my God, they were not lying. This is amazing. I was here yesterday, kind of near end of show, and we were playing some Forza, some Microsoft Flight Simulator, some Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Yep, a little bit.
There is a term, immersive, that I don't really think applies here. It's like, what's above immersive, right? Like, this is...
Is there ultra immersive? Maybe, I don't know.
Ultra immersive, right. So basically, I just wanted to chit chat with you, talk a little bit about this. You work for KEF, so that's super cool, but you actually kind of had a hand in building this whole setup. So why don't you talk a little bit about that? What was the inspiration behind it, and why bring it to the show?
Absolutely. Yeah, so I've been a long-time gamer growing up through college and things. Gosh, playing original Counter-Strike LAN parties back in the day.
Yeah.
And so in my time with KEF, KEF is primarily known for making high-performance loudspeakers, whether it be, little towers, little active monitors, floor-standing towers that are active now, and in-wall speakers, all these kind of things. And they really blend with gaming well. And the audio in gaming has gotten so immersive. And actually, Star Wars Battlefront's a great example where it has live Dolby Atmos decoding. So if you're in a home theater playing Star Wars Battlefront, you can actually get the full effects of blasters behind you, other members talking behind you, things like that. And so I wanted to find a way to make the video match the immersiveness of the audio. In here, we're using 320-inch diagonal, so basically three 10-foot diagonal screens at about 128 degrees off each other to create kind of a 3-screen gaming rig, but it's just life size. So that's kind of the difference. Maybe someone may do this with 3 32-inch monitors. I said, let's do it with 3 10-foot monitors.
Right.
And we're using the Epson LS800 projectors, which are ultra short throw projectors. The really amazing thing about them for an ultra short throw projector is they have a gaming input that is designed 100% for gaming. So we're able to do a full 1080p 120 hertz on all 3 screens behind us, which is incredible.
That is awesome.
Because it's not always just about resolution. It's about making sure you're getting really good color mapping so you can tell what's going on, but also that refresh rate is what's going to save your life in a first-person shooter, or it's going to make the propeller behind me actually look like it's really moving as opposed to skipping along. And so this really turned out to be just an amazingly immersive experience. And then we wanted to build it for Audio Device Live as well. They're one of our most favorite partners. I live here locally, so it was actually able something where I could build this here in the garage, bring it here for the show, just to kind of show off something that was kind of unique and different, that even got seasoned gamers to kind of go, okay, this is cool, this is fun. And that's really what it's all about, is just showing off something that's really fun.
You told me yesterday that you designed all of the casings and stuff for the LS800s. How did you get into that? Have you been doing that for a while?
Yeah. I've been in the industry now, sadly, almost 20 years, reminding myself that I'm about to turn 40. But yeah, and so I'm a kind of a fabricator and a maker as well. So I took some kind of designs I've had in the past of how to mount projectors, how to build casements for projectors, welded the whole frame together, basically figured out all the math to fit in the room, and basically was able to kind of get all the angles and get the screens to where I wanted to be, and then welded it all together, grinded it down, sand it, paint it, that type thing, get the screens mounted in. Stewart Film Screens provided us with the screens for this, and that has been an absolutely amazing experience again to work with Stewart, because this screen material is their flexible, ultra short throw ambient light rejection material. So right now we've got this bright light pointing on the screen behind us, and the image still looks amazing. You don't have to game with projectors in the dark. You can have the lights on, you can have the windows open with this material. And the fact that we've got 3 projectors shining on these screens, the crosstalk is almost non-existent, where the brightness from one is not messing with the other. And so that Stewart film screen material has just been absolutely vital to the level of performance this system's achieving.
That's awesome. And yeah, that's something that I wanted to point out too, is because we're filming a video, I have to light us so you can actually see us. And so it is a little bit washed out, but that's only because I either have to drop the exposure down on the camera and then boost this massive light here, or we deal with a little bit. So I will cut to some B-roll throughout this and basically show you the true like nature of it. And that's something that I noticed is you were talking about crosstalk. You know, normally if you've ever had two projectors in a room or really any light source on a projector screen, it washes the image out completely where it's like unusable. And we actually have lights on outside of this, and even with this massive bright light off, it's still nice and punchy and nice and contrasty, where you don't get that with a traditional projector screen, right?
You'd have much more of that effect of the light shining on the screen. And like I say, especially with short throws, you'd have so much of that light washing onto the other screen. But the way the ultra short throw ambient light rejection is designed, it's made to only take light from that one small point source, which is the projector underneath it. So it couldn't be more perfect for what we're doing.
Right, right. Very cool. And also, I don't know if you touched on it, but we'll touch on it again briefly. The KEF speakers that you're using.
I guess I should mention those, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
Be good for...
right. I actually was here last night, and I was like, you were like, oh, those are subwoofers. And I was like, wait a minute, those are subwoofers? So talk a little bit about the system you got here.
We're using a pair of our LS50 wireless 2s, which are fantastic for gaming. I mean, they're basically near-field studio monitors. So if you had a really good gaming desk, or you wanted to do a two-channel gaming system, the LS50 wireless 2s would be a great use for that. And then we're using two of our KC62s, which are our smallest, basically a micro sub almost, dual 6.5-inch drivers, 1,000 watts of power in each of them. So we have an incredible kind of 2.2 gaming system that can deliver tons of punch for a first-person shooter, great engine noises for Forza as we're driving through the brick walls and things, and then of course for flight sim, just really gives those awesome like afterburner effects when we're flying an F-18 or something like that. And again, that's audio in gaming has gotten so immersive and so good and such high quality that if you put a good system behind it, you will get everything out of that game. I honestly can't think of a game that doesn't have incredible sound, because it's just kind of become commonplace now.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's funny is when you were like, oh, these are subwoofers, I thought you guys had stuff behind the screen. Like the amount of output that they have for the size that they are, like, really impressed me. Obviously this isn't a room that's kind of optimized or designed for audio, right?
Oh, no, not at all. We're literally in a giant cement room because we're in the Sheraton downtown Raleigh. And so, cement ceiling, cement floor, and, very thick walls for noise abatement and things from the rooms over and things. So yeah, it's not the best, but it's been really fun to see how good it all can sound in here. And, kind of tying the whole thing together, this was kind of put together for a trade show. Doing this in someone's home to where we can actually permanently install it or create even a more seamless experience it'd be amazing. It'd be incredible, especially on sound, because what I'd love to do next is actually take this from a 2-channel setup and get much more into the multi-channel setup, because I really did wish we would have had the room to do a full like 5 or 7-channel system in here, a couple different subs,
right?
Because then you can really track around with who's shooting at you, or the race cars come up behind you or something like that. Would be amazing. But we got next year.
There you go.
Next Audio Advice Live 2024.
Right. Hey, you need a bigger room, that way you have more.
Right? Next year.
Right. Yeah, actually, remember you told me you were native. We were talking last night to the area, and you're like, hey, how long are you in town? Do you want to come? Oh wait, the computer that actually is mine is here set up. And I was going to ask you really quick, what are you using to power these or I don't want to say power, send the signal to these Epsons?
Well, I have no problem in admitting that I built this computer during the great I guess we call it
the Great Computer Parts Depression.
Yes, when there was nothing in stores. I traveled the country for KEF, and I'd go to every Micro Center, every Best Buy, just trying to get my hands on any 30 series graphics card I could. But what I'll say is we've been watching our GPU performance. We've definitely got it close to 98, 99% during some of this, but we're running 3 1080p monitors at 120 hertz. So that's gonna demand a lot from any graphics card, and of course doing flight sim on top of that. But this is all being run with a 3060 Ti.
Wow, right?
Which is still a great card.
Right. No, it is.
But if we had a 4090 in here or something like that, because like I say, I basically had to build this computer with anything I could get my hands on a couple years ago, and so. It'll probably be updated here in the future. We'll see. But right now, it's with making sure the drivers were updated, maximizing the performance within the graphics card. Because every time you set up a new monitor or you set up any new peripheral within your system, you really got to kind of go back and make sure everything's matching. And that's the fun part of computer gaming, and especially the fun part of home theater gaming, where there's a little bit of setup to it, and really dialing it in for your system is so much fun. I mean, it makes it yours, which is cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I honestly, Adam, I love that you're not using a 4090 here.
No, yeah.
Because I think that's more representative of kind of, what's available. I would love a 4090.
Yes.
I necessarily maybe couldn't afford one. And I know there's something to be said about, okay, you got these projectors and all of the screens and everything, that all adds to the cost. But I feel like that's a very conservative GPU for people. So you still have more power that you could, draw from if you were using, a 40 series graphics card. I was going to ask really quick. So you're using Nvidia Surround to kind of make all this happen, right?
Yep. So we've got, there's actually 3 different softwares running in the background. So Nvidia Surround and then 2 others on top of that. And that's letting us kind of be able to let Nvidia Surround do the core processing of blending the monitors. And then I've got 2 other pieces on top of that. I've been working with those companies to kind of create more of a seamless integration. So hopefully in the future, you can have a lot more sources than just a PC that this will work with.
Yeah.
I'll also just kind of quickly mention too that you might notice that the screens are all flat. In commercial projection, actually flight training, things like that, they use all curved projection screens because that makes it significantly more realistic where you don't even see seams at all. But in the home environment, that becomes very difficult, becomes very, very expensive, very high maintenance costs to it. And plus, now you have 3 projectors you can't do anything fun with.
Yeah.
So one thing in here that's really unique is we could actually set up multiple gaming consoles. Think about those families that have 2 or 3 kids who want a game. You could take each one of these monitors, hook up an Xbox, a PlayStation, another gaming computer, whatever you want, and actually have 3 different people playing 3 different games. Wow. So not only do we have to have one image on all 3 screens, but you could have multiple. Or if someone wanted to come in here, if they were a sports fan, they could watch 3 different football games or anything like that. And so that's why I designed it with flat screens, because you actually get way more use than just purely playing, one video game on it.
Yeah.
And so it makes it ultimately, you can do anything you want. So ultra flexibility.
That is super awesome. And you know what? I didn't even think about that. Like, it kind of harkens back to the days. I mean, a lot of my audience will remember LAN parties, right?
Oh,
those are huge.
Oh my goodness.
And so here it's like you could literally have at least 3 different people, different consoles.
Remember, you can't do it with this yet, but if you remember like playing GoldenEye or things like that, when all you would do is you'd watch your buddy's screen to find out where he was. My dream with this is I could put one person over there, one person over here, and now there's no more screen, no more screen share. No, you'll never know where they're at.
Dude, that is super awesome. Like you said, you can have multiple consoles, multiple things going on. So maybe you have that, but then somebody else wants to watch a movie on this screen back here. You have that going too. 3 separate devices hooked up.
And if someone was working, this is Audio Device Live, and so this is put on by Audio Device, one of our greatest partners. They could put in a system like this and actually set it up with a control system too. So you could take an Xbox, a PlayStation, a gaming PC, you could take your cable boxes, any sources you have, and through a system like Control 4, you could actually say just use your phone, use a touch screen, use a remote, and put any screen you want on any of these screens. What you could do in the flexibility is literally limitless with this.
That's amazing. Well, I think we touched on everything in this room. I cannot wait to see what happens next year at Audio Advice Live 2024. Adam, thank you so much for taking the time.
Coming in over there.
Oh, I see that. Oh my goodness. Okay, it's like
let's show them some game. Like we're actually sitting in a plane on the runway.
Yeah, right. Like so, this is actually we're sitting at RDU, right?
Yeah, we're sitting on 23 right for departure. Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's insane. So I'll be there tomorrow night flying out, but I already feel like I'm there. That's how immersed I am in this. Well, again, Adam, thank you so much for taking the time to chit chat, and I can't wait to see what you guys bring in next year.
Awesome. Thank you, Brad. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you. Guys, I'm still here at Audio Advice Live in Raleigh, North Carolina. Thank you guys so much for checking this video out. Check out some of my other videos in the description below. Thanks so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.